90% of consumers read online reviews before visiting a business. What do people see when they look you up online? We give you the tools you need to take control of your reputation. Send surveys to your customers via text message with Testimonial Collector. Get 5-star reviews on all the major platforms like Google, Yelp, and more. Track what people are saying about your business with Reputation Manager. Respond to comments and turn negative reviews into happy customers. See what your competitors' customers are saying about them with Competition Tracker. Learn great marketing tactics and what it takes to stay on top. A bigger social presence means more connections. Automatically generate and schedule engaging social media posts with Social 365. Build trust, boost sales, and grow your business.
Hey everybody, it is Thursday and welcome back to the show, the Entrepreneur Life Show, and I am your host, Rose, the founder of McDonald Bookkeeping Services and your host of the Entrepreneur Life Show. I am like so nervous right now. It's such a great show today. It's such a great guest, so I'm just a little nervous if I get a little shaky because like I've been following this individual for quite some time, even though I look very young. You know, I'm a little older, so I've been following since his beginning of his journey into entertainment. So let me just get the introductions out of the way. So first, I'd like to say thank you to all of the faithful followers on all the podcast platforms, channels that you have been subscribing to and that you have been commenting. I so appreciate you for being so faithful in your following, whether you're on iHeartRadio or Spotify or wherever you are. Thank you so much for all of you who have subscribed on the Entrepreneur Life Show website page. Make sure to check out all of the past guests, the upcoming guests on the calendar, so you will know where to find them, where to follow them, and where to connect with them. And of course, thank you to my sponsor, Marketing Out the Box with Sean Maddox, who has been really great, instrumental part in helping me grow my platform. And be sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you are watching on YouTube right now, make sure to go in the super chat and say hello. And if you want to ask the guest a question, feel free. Don't be crazy. Don't throw your panties in your bra because it's not going to go anywhere. This is just virtual. This is a platform. So when you see him, don't get all like excited. I can't give him no keys or nothing like that to your hotel room. Okay, so anyway, let's talk about who I've got on the show. Okay, so how do I even say this? This gentleman has so much under his belt. You know, he is well known where he started off as a soul train dancer. And of course, the favorite trademark, the Cuddy finger. So I like to call him Cuddy. I mean, it should be a trademark. He should patent that because anytime you see that, you know that is him. But then, of course, I didn't even know he had so much under his belt in his acting career, his theater career. Let me tell you, he's got so much going on, and that is Ski Carr. So I'm going to bring him to the show because I know you know who he is, and if you don't, something's wrong if you do not know who he is. So let's bring him on the show right now and introduce him. Hi there, hello.
Cuddy Frank. I love that.
You know, that is your trademark because let me tell you, I'm in my 50s, although I'm a little younger, but I don't think it matters how old you are. You have to know that.
Yeah, you look good, Rose. You look good. And it's an honor to be here.
Thank you so much for accepting the invitation to come on the show. And, you know, I want to talk about, your career journey and how you got started. So as I know and many know that you started off on Soul Train. You're a native of LA and Inglewood. Yes. Okay. We say Inglewood, right? And so how did that actually start? Soul Train was the thing. And so I didn't know that a lot of the people weren't professional dancers. I thought they were. When you watch the show, they were all professional dancers. How did that get started?
Well, first and foremost, I love telling this story about my Soul Train. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, yes. Can hear you. Yes.
So I always have to give it up to the 70s dancers. I was a fan, first and foremost, of watching Soul Train. Growing up in Inglewood, it's no secret I'm Black and Mexican. I grew up in Inglewood watching Soul Train, and I was just a huge fan of their dance style and their swag and the music, and it was the destined for through God's blessings and prayers just to do something. I knew I had a gift, like a talent, like something to offer the world. So I prayed on it, you know what I mean? And then actually my roommate George Chambers, rest his soul, his roommate Juana, she used to dance on the floor, but she didn't have the power or juice to get me. It was very a privilege to come and dance on Soul Train. Dancers came all over the world to be on Don Canales' show, Rest Soul, And so I went to a few tapings. I couldn't get in. I went back to Rogers basketball and told my cats, and they was like, "Man, you gotta go back dapper, man. You gotta impress, dress to impress." I went down to a tuxedo shop, a market in Manchester, got me a white tux. And I had a stingy brim with, I think, some white Stacy Adam biscuits. And I went back and stood out there for like 5 hours. Finally, Chuck Johnson, he saw me. He was like, "Man, come on in, man." Before he could say, "Come on in," I'm in front of the stage. I'm 6'5", right? So I'm doing Michael Jackson moves. I'm waving to Inglewood. I'm going back and forth. I just get like too damn, go back to Inglewood and say, I was on Soul Train. I would say after my 7th song that I danced by myself, even though I had a partner, she was like, "Are you gonna dance with me? I'm trying to be seen in Inglewood. Keep up." So anyway, Chuck came to me and he was like, "Man, I don't know what Don sees in you, man, but he wants you on the horizon." Now, with Niecy and Cheryl and Yvette and like all the legendary dancers, right? And from that point, it's just been a blessing, People, fans all over the world. New Edition saw me in Boston, and they came on, and it was like, "Man, we're a fan of your style, man. We want you to come on with us when we do Candy." I was like, "Of course, but don't tell Don." I came on with them, and the rest is history.
So how did you, I know a lot of the dancers, got their signature move. Everybody, you had, so, of course there was, I think an early song with the hair, she had to do the flip with the hair. And then I think Sally had the kind of sexy kind of moves. Did you feel that you needed to have, if that was just you or everybody had their signature move that placed them? Hold on, guys. We lost connection, so don't go anywhere just yet. He will be right back. So while he is getting reconnected, I'm going to show you some snippets of who he is before we get into his acting career, Cuddy. So let me play this really quick while he comes back. There he is. While he comes back to the stream. So I just wanted you guys to see that really quick. This is the great Cuddy. Yes. While we bring him back, oh, guys, see this? Okay. Anyway, I feel like I should be dancing right now on Soul Train. Anyway, but I can't dance. But whatever, I can't dance like that. Okay, I'm sorry. I just wanted to share that just a little bit because I liked it. Okay, now that you're back, we lost you for a second. Yeah. So the signature move, because you had, of course, the Cuddy finger and your classic style. It's like your dress and wardrobe, I mean, was very distinguishable. So, you know, you always have the brand, the classic kind of look. You know, how did that come about? Was that just your creation?
Well, again, I wasn't a trailer, you know. I couldn't boogie like the 70s dancers, but I had soul, like I said, black and Mexican. You know, I grew up with listening to James Brown and Hector Lavoe music. So my style kind of came from the 40s and the 50s, like the vintage era with Clark Gabriel and James Cagney and Edward G. Robinson, how they dressed with the stingy brims and suits, you know, just sharp, just sharp.
My roommate son, I
would study James Brown's moves and Michael Jackson, Elvis Presley, their soul, the Nicholas brothers, and then I just put my own flavor in there, you know, which I call the Cuddy Mac, you know, and it just all came together like it was supposed to be. It was destined to be a certain style. I can always say that my style, which I was inspired by the greats, has inspired other dancers to be great at what they do. You know, like the Soul Brothers. These are young cats that met on Soul Train, the Groovers, the Dappers, like all these cats from LA and Inglewood. They would all come to Soul Train, and they were the young generation, and I was OG triple star generation. It was a time of our life, and we just changed the culture in the 80s.
Yeah.
And we represented, and I like the word faithful. We were faithful to the 70s, but we took it to the 80s era. That's when the birth of hip hop came in, and it was we had that funky beat, and we just rode with it and just stayed faithful. So my style was kind of eclectic, but it's just all Cuddy Mac, you know, my destiny.
So I know that a lot of the dancers, they weren't paid, but being that they were, and being a featured dancer, I'm sure was important because the people who were being picked to be on the stage, the people who were being picked to be in the cages. And so I'm assuming that how that happened, was it just people that are picked randomly? Did you have to try out for that? You know, how did that to work? Because you got on the stage pretty quickly.
Yeah, and that was a blessing, you know. But I was determined, you know. I wanted to make my mark, you know, because I just knew in my spirit that was the beginning of my destiny as far as being an entertainer. You know, I always, even when I played basketball in Inglewood High School or Rogers Park, I played the sport, but I was you know, for the dancers more so. The women, if you're a beautiful woman and you could boogie a little bit, you're going to be in a riser or in a cage. That's where they'll spotlight you.
Right.
But we had so incredible on our show. You know, they all were characters. You had Otis with the mask. You had Charlie Mack with the lock, and you had Tom and Manny Mo and just so many cats, like even Leland, and you had Fantasy and Diesel and all the beautiful ladies, and it was our time. It was like if we were in a club, the Century Club or 24 Paradise, it was like the camera was just following. We were on. You know what I mean?
So
having a ball, you know, every Saturday and Sunday.
No, I know a lot of it got to the point where there were like costumes. There were costumes, people teaming up, because it used to be, of course, there were, you danced individually, then you saw like the couples and then the individual. And so where did when the skits and all of that came into play, because that brought a lot more, it seems, to the show, where you can actually, and I've seen, there was a few that I've seen where that you were with a couple of different dancers, you guys would perform and put on this kind of little mini kind of show. And sometimes people would have like costumes and stuff like that. How did that come into play? Was that something that the individual dancers just put together themselves, or something that the people in the back and management producers said, hey, I want you guys to bring more entertainment to the show?
Well, in the midst of our taping, we'd have an hour and a half lunch. We'd all go to the parking lot, street from where the studio where Soul Train was filmed, and we just put on music. You know what I mean? And we work on routines. And we do choreographed routines, and like a lot of people who'd come for the first time, they'd ask if they could, be part of our dance, and if they can get down, they could get down. Me, my thing was I always wanted to give another dancer an opportunity, not because I was bigger or better, but because I had the power to bring somebody down the school. Whether it was a beautiful girl or just a young cat who wanted to boogie, who wanted to, be part of the Cuddy Max. So I gave a lot of cats, especially the Soul Brothers. When I first saw them, I just saw so much talent in these cats, man, and they were a fan of my style in the beginning, but they had their own style, and they changed the culture of dancing. Legendary, and there was this other cat, C Love from York, and we would just work out routines, especially me and Tom and Manuel and Diesel, and we would just do our thing, and just when it was our time to go down the Soul Train line, we would already have it rehearsed, and then once the music came on, we just boogied it and just let it be known so the world. Yeah, so we rehearsed that. Then we just went freestyle with it.
Well, I mean, was entertainment always your passion, or was it that when you got and you were on Soul Train, did it kind of direct you to think like, oh, I think I want to further this into a career path in entertainment?
I would say that's a beautiful question. I would say through my blessings, growing up in Inglewood, being Black and Mexican, there was two streets. My parents always told me you can go down the rough and rugged one, which there was really no future in, or do something with your life. I might have ventured down that street and lost a lot of cats that I knew, to penitentiary or to drugs or crime. But it wasn't my thing, it wasn't for me, So I went down the other street with my talent, and I prayed on it, you know what I mean? Because I knew I was talented, and I knew my destiny was to be an entertainer, whatever it was. And Soul Train just happened to be that platform, and Don Canillas gave me and a lot of other artists that get to do what we wanted to do. So I was a fan of like movies. I would go to the movies every day, every Friday, and just watch movies. And I would check out 2 and 3 features, whether it was Al Pacino, or Denzel, or just like the greats, Brando, and watch these cats and dream of being and doing what they're doing. So again, I prayed on it after my days on Soul Train, and enrolled to El Camino College, and just took every acting class that there was from the beginning. That's where I cut my teeth in theater, became a classical trained actor. My first play was Much Ado About Nothing, and it was Shakespeare. So
yes, I saw it.
Shakespeare, I could pretty much do anything. So yeah, I was destined to be an artist, and I put my dreams into action.
Do you remember your first casting call, and how that went? Because obviously there's a big difference between dancing on stage and kind of freestyling, do what you want. Then now you have to, and I know that you have coached with a really great acting coach who I believe is passed now. And so when you got your first call, I mean, how was that? What was that like? Do you remember how nervous you were? What it was for?
Well, I had a plan, you know what I mean? I just didn't want to be like average. So I went the music video route first. I was in Frankie Beverly and Mace, back in Stride. I did a music video, a lot of videos. Jennifer Lopez, Busta Move, Young MC, Jeff, of course, a lot of New Edition, Bill DeVoe videos. So I went and Mtume was my first, Howard Johnson was my first music video. But after the music videos, like I said, I wanted to be a trained actor. I wanted to study the craft. So I never really casting calls. I said, when my craft is refined, and then I'm going to go out, get an agent. I got a commercial agent. My first audition I went on was Carl Jr. Spicy Chicken Sandwich, and that was a big commercial. And then after that, I just start going out on for theatrical auditions. And I think the first one I booked, the big one I booked was for me was Holes. That was one of when I really studied for Shia LaBeouf and John Voight. But people recognized me from Soul Train and music videos and offered me parts. Like I was in 100 Kilos and Belly 2, like some hood cult classics. And then I just had the confidence. And I just had the confidence. When I went in the room, I said, I don't want to book. I don't care if I book the job. I want to book the part of me in that room. I leave it up to them. I just wanted to devastate the audition where it would be hard for them not to in a part. So I've had a lot of success for Blue, Fargo Fire, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Family Business right now. We're on Family Business episode 12 of season 3. So it's been a roller coaster for me,
Is there any particular part that you've played in a film? Because The Avenue, you play these parts of very aggressive, or you're kind of like gangsta or Godfather kind of role. You have that look, and is there any part any character that you played in a film that resonates with you, close to you, that you say that you connected with? Yeah, and I saw that trailer. The Avenue is really good.
Yeah. Well, again, being Black American, 6'5", strong, stoic. I'm not saying it's easy to play or heavy, as they call in the industry, because I'm not a gangster. The gangsters pretty much saved my life in my streets. I was always drawn to them. And, you got talent, man. Play your basketball. Do something with your talent. So they kind of gave me a scared straight way out. You can watch us and study us, be us. You know what I mean? So gangster parts are good, but I always try, even with Senior Cruise on Family Business, I try to give my gangster parts of my heavies some charm, some humor, a little twinkle, because this guy, he's still a guy. You know what I mean? But the parts that mean the most to me would be playing father, losing a child, or father raising a child. Something with meat in it, with substance.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to kill everybody. Gangster scene. I'm trying to kill you with kindness, and it's just like a raises his kid. A real takes care of his family. So that's how gangster parts is, just have a part. I'm really a teddy bear. I really have a lot of sensitivity in my DNA, but I do got a temper sometimes.
Do you feel it's easy to get typecast in Hollywood because of your look?
Not so with me, because it's hard, I auditioned for George Tillman Jr. and he wanted me. He really wanted me for the part. It was opposite The Rock and Faster. But me and The Rock, we have similar skin tones, so that they went with an actor a little more darker, which was cool. But a lot of times in Hollywood, I may not be black enough or Latin enough, so I have to go and just knock it out, and make color irrelevant. You know, as my talent should book the part, not so much my skin tone. But I love
Right.
being black and Mexican. You know, it's kind of some parts I don't get because that dark or that light. But it's okay. You know, God knows exactly what my career concept is from Inglewood to Hollywood. So I just stay ready, man. Queen, I just stay ready.
So working now to talk about the family business, which I love, and you're working along some great actors alongside. It's just it's a really great cast, period. And working with, the like Eric Hudson. You know, what is it like working with him? I mean, what do you take from him as an actor? He's been in this industry so long. Is there anything that you pick up from him that helps you in your career and your acting that you can take from it?
Well, just I was a fan of Soul Train in the 70s. I'm a fan of Ernie Hudson,
Yeah.
Valerie, me, Darren, all these cats. They come ready to rumble. I just want
Mm-hmm.
to show up, play my position, do my job, and I just wanted to hear them. If I did a scene with them, at the end of my scene, I just wanted them to say to me, "Man, really good. That's it. No ad, just truth," because I bring the truth. And just like them, family business has a pool of actors and actresses
Yeah.
that are really doing their thing. You know what I mean? We're everywhere from our showrunner, ND, to our director, Paul Weber, the writer, just our whole cast and crew, man. We're really doing a
Yeah.
great job for BET. You know, we air again May 11th, and it's just an honor to work with these cats, man. You know, coming from his background as Aaron, he was also a dancer.
You know, living or
I'm
just
just
living
excited
or
to be a part of the cast and with Senior Cruise. I'm having so much fun.
well, I hope it has 100 seasons because it's a great show. It really is. It needs to have like 100 more seasons to it. Like really, it's a good show. So if you have to choose
Yeah.
living, go ahead. If you have to choose living or deceased,
You're breaking up a little bit, but I can hear you.
can you hear me now? Make sure that I'm coming through.
You're breaking up a little bit.
I'm breaking up a little bit. Is that better?
Say it again. Yeah.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So what I was saying is, of course, I hope that the family business goes on for another 100 seasons because it's just a damn good series. But living or deceased, if you had a choice between an actor that you would want to work alongside, who would it be? Do you know?
That's a great question.
Because you've got
say,
you have a classic look. You know what I mean? Like I could see it from somebody like back in like the kind of your Clark Gable, days. But
yeah, I would say it would have to be James Cagney, Humphrey Bogart,
yeah,
and just I like legendary cats. Like, of course, living cats would be Al Pacino.
yeah.
Denzel,
I could definitely see you on a film. Yeah.
And just up and coming cats you haven't even heard about, but just you know what I mean? like the cats that are hidden, that don't have an opportunity, who doesn't even have a SAG card, but they have the passion and the desire, and they've studied, and they just try to get in the game. I love to work with a cat like that because he's ready to rumble. He's not jaded. He's hungry. So yeah, from Cagney to the cat in an apartment condo in Inglewood who's trying to get to Hollywood. Because that's me.
Have you considered like writing or producing, directing something of your own? Because you've done a lot. You obviously have the skill and the background.
I'm in the process of writing a documentary.
Really?
Yeah. I'm in the process of writing a documentary about life from the Hollywood, Cuddy Mac. It's just my journey, my life story. I think that's one of the best vehicles, the best tickets is writing your own material, is writing your own film. I applaud Issa for Issa and all these people who TV shows and write their own movies. So that's what I want to do. You know what I mean? I told John Singleton that, rest his soul, and he was like, just do it. You know what I mean? Just do it. And I'm sitting next to Carl Weber. He's one of the greatest writers out there now. Maybe I might slide him a treatment, or slide him my thoughts of from Inglewood to Hollywood, Cuddy Mac style.
So you're from Inglewood, it's always that story of I've made it out. You know what I mean? A lot of people have that story of I've made it out. Have you ever considered a lot of mentorship, because you can actually do a lot for people, especially not just the Black community, but just the underprivileged community of there's other ways out and other avenues. Have you ever thought of the mentorship for some of the youth in the area?
Funny you say that, because I have one of my other. I've had, like, I would say, some great master teachers and mentors in my life. Hans Scarlata, my master teacher at college. Master teacher, rest his soul, at Beverly Hills Playhouse. Richard Lawson, also one of my mentors. Hicks and Josh Owens. Josh, he said, you know what? You have such a gift. You should teach. You should be an acting teacher. You should go back to your city of England. Mentor these kids. There's a lot of hidden talent there. And I thought about it. I pondered it. I wanted to take of course, I know so much. It's just putting my dreams into action as far as being a teacher, going back to Inglewood, going back to Rogers Park where I grew up, and some of these kids. I do it for free. I mentor them for free. A lot of them, they have so much talent, but they have no determination. They have thoughts and ambition that one day I'll do that. When years done, or I am and want to be, I'll just back to my city of Inglewood and teach the young, and just, hey, if I could do it, that they could do it. Inglewood to Hollywood. That's a beautiful, great question. Thank you for that.
Yeah. I would say that, a lot of actors, actresses, they'll, sometimes just to get out there, they'll just take anything and then look back, think, oh, why did I do that? And I noticed that a lot of the work you've done has been quality work. And so, which is a good thing. And so do you specifically choose your parts and what you do, so that looking at the future of where you want to be, because, or is there anything that you wish you had have done differently, something that you haven't taken, because the part that you did that you thought maybe I shouldn't have taken that part? Although what I've seen, you've had great parts in everything that you've done, really, from my view.
Yeah, thank you. With me, for some reason, said, cut my teeth in theater. You know, I did all that. I did it for free. You know, we didn't get paid. So if somebody comes to me, a young writer like Hassan, there's a movie I did called Takeout. Wrong was the writer, and Hassani was the writer. He's this it wasn't really a big budget. Called Takeout Girl. Winning many awards. It's really nice. It all stay together. It wasn't big. I was attracted to the doctor, to their what they was trying. I just wanted to be a part of it. So I'm whatever to me, and if it talks to me, I'll do it as a gift to them. You know, the money's gonna come and go, but that we're gonna see like on clips on screen. You can and just see things that I've done before. When I Michael Jackson, James Brown, Elvis Presley, old clips, that inspires me. They did that because of their passion. I'm doing my parts because of, even though I've been Agents of Shield, which is, I'm still going to do the and it makes sense. And he has a role in there, speaks to me. I'll do it. Ain't no prima donna. I'm hungry. I'm still hungry. You got a script? DM me, IG, Facebook.
That's very impressive. I wanted to talk about the whole Soul Train series, the remake. How accurate is that? I mean, did any of the dancers have a say in how they would be portrayed? You know, did you get to have any input when they came out with the Soul Train, you know, the whole series?
What do you mean specifically?
So were you able to have any input on how you would be seen on there, or you know, because it was a lot of drama behind the scenes. And so did any of the dancers themselves, because obviously some of those people are portraying to be them or how the show was, were you able to provide any input, or did they just take it off of what, you know, whoever wrote it and base it off of what their depiction of how Soul Train was?
With the TV show, the Aaron, from what I watch, from what I'm watching, it's pretty much Cornelius. You know what I mean? Rest his soul. I was never behind the scenes with what went on back there. I mean, I'd go back when New Edition was there one day because I knew these cats, but we had no power or Cornelius anything. That was his. That was his. You know what went behind the scenes. I had no input in that. I knew I did what I pretty much wanted when I went down the Soul Train line on stage. It gave me the freedom to do that. But the show on TV about Soul Train, I think that's more scripted, you know, for Hollywood. I don't know how real or true that is to form. Don't quote me. I didn't really know Don Cornelius personally. I just knew him as his dancer, one of his dancers. He was a stoic private cat, but he built this institution, Soul Train, from Chicago. It just it's part of the culture. And then the TV show, I'm not sure. They want to come to me and they do a version about it, then I could only play it how I played it truthfully back in the 80s. You know, I wasn't an actor on Soul Train, but I was acting like I knew what I was, you know what I mean? So that was real. So yeah. I don't know how much truth that is to the story on BT, which I love BT, but
yeah.
if they come with the version, I'll be here with the stingy brims and be ready to do my cutting back.
One of the listeners want to know if you can still dance.
I'm a Freddie Mac till I die. I'm more. I salsa dance more. You know what I mean? Like I can get down with the salsa. But I just if you give me a stage and give me a beat, I'll stay faithful. And once that beat comes on, it's automatic because I'll just step back into that energy. So yeah, I can definitely still boogie. And if I was standing up, you would see it. But here's a little faithfulness, right?
Right.
You gotta, so yeah, I can still.
You gotta trademark that right there.
For life.
You gotta trademark that right there. And that's your I
trademark.
Yeah, and I mean, and so the people can't use it. So I want to say thank you for sharing your story and sharing your journey. And of course, we want everybody to watch. If you're listening, thank Louie Ski Carr for being on the show, Cuddy, and again for his the trademark. You will always know him, always see him, and make sure you guys keep tuning in to If You Are Not, the Family Business, because this is such a good show. I'm telling you, I love it. It's like my drug of choice, and I don't even do drugs, but it's my drug of choice. So to choose, I had Darren Henson on the show, and he was great. So it's great having the cast to really share about the show because it's a damn good show. So for those who aren't watching, you have to watch and check out everything that Cuddy's doing. You'll be able to check him out on my page. Go to the website, entrepreneurlifeshow.com, so you can make sure that you stay connected with everything he's doing. And like he said, he's writing his documentary. So you want to check that out. Thank you so much again for being here today and being my guest. I really appreciate you. You're very entertaining. I mean, probably when you're 90, you're going to look just like that. With great style.
Thank you.
And so we're going to end this show, everybody, and tune in next week for our guest show. And if you'd like to say anything to the listeners before we exit out.
Yes. First of all, it happens all the time. You called me Sky. It's Ski.
Ski. Right. Sorry. That's Ski. Yeah. Louie Ski Carr.
Did you hear me? I would just say, I'm living such a blessed life. When I was young, I didn't really have a dream, but then when I prayed on it, dream, I just put it in action, and I studied my craft, and I cut my teeth in theater way before I became an actor, way before I became a working actor.
Yeah.
He was my vehicle to get to Hollywood. If I can do what you can do, if I can mentor you or inspire you, continue to do your thing, just on it. If you want to reach out to me on IG or Facebook, that's Louie Ski Carr. DM me, I'll talk to you. If you have an idea for a movie, or if you're a director or do documentaries, reach out with this lean role. She's an opportunity part of my life. And I'm glad I was able to reach out and hopefully touch one faithful person with my story. Always say, stay faithful from Inglewood to Hollywood. Cuddy Mac.
Cuddy Mac.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And bye, everybody. And we will see you next week for our next guest. Go to the website, entrepreneurlifeshow.com. You'll be able to see all the past guests, all the upcoming guests, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thanks again for Cuddy Mack. You are amazing, always amazing, and I'm going to continue to be watching The Family Business and hope that I get to see your documentary out soon. Bye, everybody. See you next week.
See you, Marco, too.